Calming the mind and healing from trauma is a journey that often takes us deeper than we expect. It's not just about understanding the painful events we experience, but also recognizing how we responded to those events and how that response shaped who we became. I've spent a long time caught in an emotional cul-de-sac, circling round the same feelings of shame and isolation without fully understanding why they continue to affect me so deeply. I can remember when my therapist explained that trauma wasn't just the event itself, but it was my response to it. And then I started to see things differently. What happened to me, for example, at boarding school, the exposure, the humiliation, the isolation was undeniably painful. But it was how I internalized those experiences that created the lasting trauma. I compartmentalized the pain, locked it away, and left my emotional response unprocessed. My body, however, never forgot. It held on to those feelings of exposure and shame, amplifying them through the isolation I felt at the time. When I think back to that moment, standing there, feeling completely exposed and humiliated at boarding school, I realized that I wasn't just physically naked, I was emotionally naked as well. There was no one to witness or validate my experience. I was left alone with that shame and without anyone to help me process those feelings. They became instead embedded in my body. My psyche, unable to hold the pain, externalized it, leaving my body to carry the weight. As an adult, I now recognize how these unprocessed feelings show up in unexpected ways. When I put myself forward to be seen, especially, for example, when giving a presentation or being visible online, I feel an uneasy tension in my body. There's a part of me that desires to be seen, to be recognized and validated, but it's also tied to a deep fear of exposure. Without the safety of eye contact or real human connection, that old sense of being alone with my vulnerability returns. My body reacts as though I am back in that moment of humiliation, and I can't make sense of it logically because the response is not in my mind, but in my body. This paradox is exhausting. I present myself as strong, independent, and capable, yet beneath that mask is a fear of true belonging. I've come to realize that being independent has been my way of protecting myself from rejection. To truly belong means showing up as my authentic self, and that carries a risk. If I am rejected for who I really am, the pain feels so much deeper than being rejected for the mask I wear. So I've created a pattern where I appear strong and self-sufficient, ensuring that I never fully belong because belonging feels too risky. But belonging is essential. We are hardwired for connection, not just with others, but with ourselves. And true belonging can only happen when we allow ourselves to be seen, imperfections and all. This realization has led me to understand that practicing belonging is not about achieving some external goal. It's about cultivating the courage to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is often misunderstood as weakness, but in reality, it is the foundation of authentic connection. For me, this means starting small, practicing vulnerability in safe spaces where I can gradually let go of the mask. It means acknowledging that my fear of exposure is valid, but recognizing that staying hidden is no longer serving me. By showing up as my authentic self, even when it feels uncomfortable, I am creating the space for genuine belonging. To support this process, I've learned the importance of anchoring safety in my body. Practices like deep breathing, meditation, Tai Chi are not just techniques for relaxation, they are ways of telling my nervous system that I am safe. These regular practices create a sense of stability within me, helping me prepare for moments when I feel vulnerable or exposed. by grounding myself in the present, I can navigate these situations with more awareness and less reactivity. One of the most profound realizations on this journey has been understanding the role of shame in perpetuating isolation. Shame thrives in silence and secrecy, but when we bring it into the light, when we allow ourselves to be seen in our vulnerability, it loses its grip on us. Sharing my story, acknowledging my shame, and allowing it to be witnessed is not easy, but it is a necessary part of my healing process. What I've learned is that vulnerability can be a superpower. It's through our unique vulnerabilities that we connect with others in meaningful ways. When we drop the mask and allow ourselves to be seen, we invite others to do the same. This creates a space where genuine belonging can flourish, a space where we are accepted, not for who we pretend to be, but who we truly are. As I move forward, I'm learning that true belonging is not something we achieve by proving our strength or independence. It's something we cultivate by embracing our vulnerabilities and showing up as our authentic selves. The path to belonging requires courage, the courage to be seen, to be vulnerable, and to trust that connection is worth the risk. By practicing belonging in safe spaces, anchoring safety in my body, and reframing the narrative of shame, I'm rewriting my story. I'm no longer trapped in a cycle of isolation and fear. Instead, I'm moving toward a life where I can experience genuine connection and belonging. Not despite my vulnerability, but because of it. If you'd like help reconnecting with your own sense of who you are behind the mask, visit my website and book a free discovery call, and let's see what's possible.